Hello guys, if you haven't already, if you like the video, please like and subscribe, be much appreciated. So today we started spring drilling. It is, I think, the 11th of March. Yes, 11th of March. We've started spring barley. Graham is over at Smithy Fen drilling as we speak. Nick is over there cultivating. He's been over there since this morning. I don't know if I can be able to get any photos or video of him cultivating today, but I should be able to tomorrow. But no, so he's drilling. I'm on my way over there. I've just picked Jason up from there. It's about midday now. He's been over there servicing Graham with seed. I've brought him back for the rolls. He's going to ring roll that behind Graham to consolidate the seed. So yeah, I'm on my way over to service Graham with seed, to do what Jason was doing, and to then bring the trailers back and get Nick back afterwards. So it all goes. So Nick is just leaving, like I said when we got here. He's folded up. He's going to make his way back. There goes Nick. I think he is. He's going to have some lunch first. Yeah. Hello guys. Right, it's actually the next day now. I didn't have time to, I was busy. I thought there was going to be a bit more time, but by the time I got back, Graham was nearly finished drilling. I had to get everything back to the yard. I had to do this, that and everything else. So it was all a bit hectic yesterday once I got back to Smithy Fen. But we're on what we call black lands down at the bottom of Northfield's farm. Just back in here. That way. He's drilling, and I'm going to service him with seed. I have got a teleporter man coming to come service the telehandler at some point. But I think he's stopped for breakfast. It's breakfast time at the moment. But yeah, we're drilling the spring barley again. We're still on spring barley, on what we call black lands 20 and 32, right down the bottom of the farm, Northfield's farm. We're right next to the river. It's good soil actually, and we're direct drilling it straight into cover crops. There's radishes and black oat in the cover crop, and basically the radishes, the idea behind them, they're called oil radish. They're meant to have, they're not a radish like you'd eat, but they're related, and they're meant to have a deep tap root that breaks and penetrates the soil and aids in drainage. So when it breaks down and rots away, it's adding organic matter to the soil along with the leaves and the other greenery that grows in with the black oat. The black oat has a very fibrous root system, so it's very, lots of tentacles almost coming off the roots. It's very it penetrates lots of little roots into the soil, which sort of makes a tilth almost, and that's really good for soil health. But it's over winter. We don't want bare soil over winter on a farm. Bare soil is not good. That's why you often see people leave stuff as stubble, because at least with the root system of the stubble from the previous crop, that holds the soil together. If you leave it bare soil, if you plough it and cultivate it, there's more chance of the soil blowing away or being washed away, which is not good for us. It's really not good for the environment. You're losing a lot of nutrients. So this cover crop improves the soil structure through its roots. It improves the organic matter when we incorporate it in the soil and it rots down. And it also, these plants are taking nutrients from the soil, so they're locking nutrients up for us, which means that it's not, when it chucks it down with rain, which it has this winter, the rain isn't washing the nutrients out of the soil. Nitrogen leaches from the soil potash is also soluble in water, so can move through the soil, and it means that this nutrient is being taken up. Any nutrients that has been taken up into this plant, locked up for us. When we cultivate it in, incorporate it, it's then dead. It starts to rot down and release the nutrients over time without losing it over a wet winter like we have. But we've been doing cover crops on the farm for 4 years now, at least 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 years, and we've seen a great success. Like I say, we've direct drilled into them. We've trialled direct drilling peas into them last year, which we'd not done before and couldn't find much literature on. Graham did sort of look around and ask agronomists and whatever, but they didn't really know. So we tried one field, direct drilled the peas into the cover crop. The other field we established conventionally, cultivated it behind the cover crop, and then drilled into that. But we saw some really good results. So yeah, now I'm going to jump on this track to take him another bag of seed down and see where we get to. another reason also, there's hundreds of reasons why you could grow cover crops, why you should grow cover crops. But another reason that I hadn't mentioned was the fact that they overwinter. So you drill them in the autumn like your winter wheat, and you then leave them over winter and desiccate them, cultivate them, whatever you do to destroy them in the spring. We've desiccated because we're direct drilling, and then in the spring you drill them. Over winter you get a flush of blackgrass. Now blackgrass is probably, well, it isn't, it's the most problematic weed we've got. There's been several over the years. Wild oats per plant, so every wild oat you have per plant basis is the most detrimental on yield as far as weeds go. And cleavers were a problem a few years ago. The cleavers are like sticky weed, what you play with at school when you find it in the hedgerows. You stick it to each other, it's like Velcro. But the most problematic at the moment is blackgrass. Reasons for that are it's immune to pretty much every chemical on the market. And yes, farmers do use chemicals to kill weeds. Not all farms are organic. It's a good job they aren't, because arable wise, crops wise, it is near impossible to gain the yields that are needed to feed this population of people. But that's another debate. I don't want to get political, but we do use chemicals, as many farmers do. They're perfectly safe. The one chemical that will kill blackgrass at the moment is Roundup. Roundup is for people who do min-till, which we're edging towards, and direct drilling, and less cultivating. We're moving towards that. Like you say, we're direct drilling into this cover crop. A lot of people direct drill into stubbles. Roundup is their cultivator. Now, direct drilling has hundreds of benefits over using a cultivator. You're keeping that top couple of inches of really fertile soil where it should be at the top. You're not destroying worm populations mechanically with your machines. You've got a much broader range of life in the soil. Beneficial bugs, because not all bugs are a problem. There's plenty of worms. Beetles are fantastic. They kill and eat a lot of the pests that we have. So by min-tilling, direct drilling, you're minimising the destruction of the beneficial animals, bugs, insects in the soil, and worms, and you're minimising the movement on the soil. Less soil erosion, everything. But to be able to achieve that, we need Roundup. They actively encourage min-till and direct drilling now. It's very much in fashion, as it were. It's thought that a lot of the subsidies that come to support agriculture are going to come with Brexit now. They're going to come in with this min-till approach. So people that min-till, direct drill, you'll get rewarded for doing that because it's so beneficial for the environment and soil health. But we can't do it without Roundup. Roundup has become the cultivator. Roundup, we can't mechanically kill the weeds. I mean, you can see, if I turn you around, that is the field with the cover crop on. Now, you've got the benefits of all the cover crop growing, but you can't have that growing there when you want to grow your cash crop, because it's competing against it. It's taking the nutrients. There's a lot of scaremongering and that sort of thing, but without Roundup we wouldn't be able to produce food as cheaply as we do, and we'd be in a right pickle, really. And it's the only thing, like I say, that kills blackgrass. So going back to blackgrass, you have two flushes of it. one in the winter and one in the spring. Now the later you can delay drilling, so by going to spring cropping, and this is another thing, we're not relying on chemicals going onto crops, you know, as we were in the past. We're looking at more cultural control methods, delayed drilling, spring cropping, that sort of thing. Looking at ways we can, you know, combat it without using chemicals, because at the end of the day chemicals cost us money. Delaying your drilling doesn't cost us anything if we get a crop in. Spring cropping, again, doesn't cost us anything, we still get a crop in. Without Roundup we have no way of controlling blackgrass, and the cover crops offer an opportunity to have a build fertility in the soil. Flush of blackgrass in the autumn, fantastic, it's there. Once it's grown we can deal with it. You know, when it's a seed there's nothing we can do, it can lie dormant, and we can clean that top layer of soil up. So using Roundup, direct drilling, the minimal cultivations, you know, every time we pass over something we expose more seed to the sunlight, so it germinates. So we, you know, the cover crops let us do that safely without losing the soil over winter into water courses and stuff like that. It holds the soil together, and we can do that, and it's really good stuff. So yeah, we get a flush of blackgrass in the winter, in the autumn. That has been killed by the Roundup now. You do get another flush of blackgrass in the spring. Now we are 12th of March today, which we will have seen some blackgrass grow. Stuff hasn't really stopped growing over the winter. You know, your lawn, you'll notice, it's carried on growing. It's not been a cold winter where things have stopped growing, so it's been quite a good opportunity for the people who have got spring drilling to do, to get on top of some of the blackgrass. So yeah, no, that's another good reason for cover crops, and using them. Like I say, a lot of the subsidies, there's sort of talk of them coming through. You know, your greening, which is your cover crop greening, is going to be based around your cover crops, based around your direct drill, min-till situations. So no, we're trying to keep one step ahead of the game in that sense, that we are already doing it. You know, we're not having to catch up. Right, so I'm just going to take an opportunity. Hopefully it's not too windy and you can hear me all right. But I'm behind a hedge, and I'm hopefully be able to show you what we're trying to achieve with this cover crop. So if I turn you round, this here, hopefully I can show you, is the radish. Now it's not been as good as it should be this year. It should be slightly deeper, bigger taproot, but you see the principle here. We're trying to use this root as a means of improving drainage and penetrating deep into the soil. And here's your black oats. You can see how extensive these roots are, because it's quite difficult for me to put it out. Now you can see here the fibrous roots. I mean, there's hundreds of those coming off this. We've probably left quite a few of them in the soil, but you can see they've got quite a good taproot as well there. But you can see this branching out into the soil is what we're trying to achieve. I'll just get out of the wind. So, you know, yeah, that's what we're trying to achieve with that. Like I say, in a normal year, it's been so wet and a bit horrible. Those roots of the tap roots of those radishes haven't developed as well as we hoped, and they normally do. They're normally bigger, deeper, but they're still doing a good job. And like I say, they're, you know, you can see across there, the dog's out. She's eating something nice, I'm sure. You can see across there that how much greenery there is, how much foliage there is, which is all really, you know, good for the soil. It'll be a green manure. That's a common what they call it, green manure. So no, it's really, really good. Can't complain at all at that, really, considering the growing conditions it had to deal with, the rain. You know, I mean, it chucked it down. It went into quite dry soil. You know, we had that dry harvest, dry summer, and then
it had all that rain. It just hasn't been really ideal. If it had been better, it should have gone into slightly damper soils rather than dry, but there was no rain for several weeks, and then it started raining and didn't stop. So, you know, it's all been a bit higgledy-piggledy, but that's what we're trying to achieve ultimately. That deep taproot, that's a strong taproot that's got the ability to break through push into a pan, try and improve drainage like that. So it's really good.